Now, as I've mentioned before, and will continue to mention many times in the future because it's very important, there are 14 verses in the Holy Bible where God says that He put patterns in the Bible on purpose. We're supposed to search them out, and they prove that God wrote the Bible. Now, as I've said before, why would God tell us something 14 times and then not do it? He wouldn't do that. That would mean that He's lying to us. Why would He lie to us? He didn't. God is not a liar. He put the patterns there. We found some of them, myself and others. We found a lot of them. They're there. We've proven they're not by chance. We've proven in the last few days it couldn't be any other source because the Bible had to have been written before universal conscience, had to have been written before DNA. So we know the patterns are there, and there's only one possible source, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, in the been talking about DNA. Well, God yesterday told me to look at one more place because it just a continuation of DNA. Now, this has to do with the National Institute of Health because every year or so they come out with a new representation of DNA. Now, they're shooting an arrow at a target, and they haven't hit the target yet, but they keep getting close every year. But the numbers keep changing, and when you're talking about 4 billion amino acids, or whatever you call them, not 20 amino acids, there's 4 million letters. Okay, there's no way that you can change that and not change patterns drastically. Okay, now what I'm about to show you either came from man or God. Okay, either one or two things. Either there's somebody at the National Institute of Health who's turning knobs to fake the data to prove the existence of God, or God did it. Okay? Now, I dare you to go to the National Institute of Health and accuse them of manipulating data to prove the existence of God. That ain't happening. They would laugh you out of the room. Okay? God did it. Let me just explain what He did. For several years I've looked at DNA. It keeps changing every year. About once a year they come out with a new description, and it keeps changing. Last year He told me to look at a particular pattern, which I did. It's in verify.java. You can look at it yourself. And it came to 888, and I have a web page on that. Okay, 888 is the Greek numeric value of Jesus. And the chances, and it's a big number too, so it's very, very unusual. Okay, well, yesterday God told me to look at it again. Now, I told him, and of course he agreed. I mean, he knows this stuff better than I do. It keeps changing. It would be different. He says, yeah, right, we'll just see what it is. Well, I guess my faith wasn't very strong yesterday because I just thought it'd be some random number, and I'd be stuck today trying to explain this away. Like, why did it give this a really weird number or something? Changed, but it didn't change to 888. What did it change to? Well, and by the way, there's some changes. Now you have to manually download it, and I had to change the software. So I made a verify2.java that gets the current ones. And I did both of them. There's a 37 and a 38. Let me give you the pattern, the key that I derived last year. Now, it's an exact formula. It's in verify.txt of how the original key was derived, and it has to do with looking which chromosome has the most, and you just find the first place where you find Genesis 1:1, and then see how many of those same patterns are in that chromosome. And it turned out to be 21, which is 3 times 7, God's prime digits, multiply together each other. Now you can say that's a coincidence, but anyway, it was 21. But anyway, here's the key. Let me just read it to you. Okay. Aleph is glycine, Bet is isoleucine, He is alanine, Vav is proline, Yod is serine, Lamed is arginine, Mem is leucine, Tadai is cysteine, Resh is threonine, Shin is valine, Tav is histidine. Now, when I did it this year, it got a different pattern, the key. So I had to fake it. I had to force the old key. Okay. But anyway, when I forced the O key, the 37, which is God's prime pair, went up by Trinity God's prime digit. Okay, that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. It went from 888 to 891. Okay, went up by Trinity. Did 38, which is a secular number. It went down by the secular meaning of life, 42. Whatever 888 minus 42 is, that's what it came out to be. Now, what happened last year didn't happen by chance. What happened this year didn't happen by chance. If you add up all those probabilities, about like 1 in a million or something. Okay, like I said, there's either somebody down at the National Institute of Health turning knobs to fake data, or God did it.